In Hong Kong, slavery was abolished through the application of the 1833 Slavery Abolition Act. Yet we are still home to an estimated 65,000 modern slaves. What makes a slave? Why them? Why not me? These next two stories will take you deep into the modern slavery that exists right alongside us in our daily lives.
I am Jasiel from Venezuela. 5 years ago, with the economic crisis in my country and pregnant with my second child, I was eager to make some money to support my family. I answered a job ad for a marketing role and traveled to Brazil to start work. Then and there, my life changed forever. As I landed in Brazil, two men blundered me into a car and took me to a rundown neighborhood. I was locked inside a flat, raped repeatedly, beaten, and given little food. Then, these men told me that I had to smuggle drugs into Hong Kong. Swallow these capsules of cocaine, I was told. I couldn't. I didn't want to. I was pregnant. It was so big. So they beat me, they held me down, burned me, and strapped the cocaine to my legs instead. My legs were bleeding and scratched. When I landed at the Hong Kong airport, I was arrested and imprisoned for trafficking drugs. I was sentenced to 25 years of prison. I had hoped that the court would recognize me as a victim, but my legal proceedings have been brutal, cold, and unrelenting. A few months later, my son Mateo was born behind the walls of a Hong Kong prison cell. It was walls away from the dream I had envisioned when I first took that job in Brazil. When Mateo turned 3, I made the wretched decision for him to be sent to Venezuela to be with his grandmother. I felt that part of me died the day I saw him go. I don't know if I ever will see my son again.
You know how I became a drug lord? My name is Nathaniel. I'm from South Africa. I am a former drug trafficker. One day, a man approached me on the street and he said, "You look smart. You have a passport, right? Why don't you have a chat about business?" He put me in touch with another man. The second man invited me into his big, massive home and told me about his dreams. He included me in those dreams. And in time, I trusted him more than my own father. Not so long after, he asked me to transport some drugs. When I came back successfully, he paid me more than I was promised. I then learned to be like him. I sought out the financially troubled, uneducated. I brought them into my circle, showed them acceptance, prayed with them. Then I trained them like dogs to obey. I sent these men and women in all parts of the world to pick up, move, sell drugs. My mules are my resources. In this way, we earn vast amount of money. Until I was at the arrival of the Hong Kong airport in the middle of a job. My network has always been my family. But now I'm abandoned with a 13-year sentence in the prison.
Together, the stories of Jasiel and Nathaniel, alongside many others, allowed us to begin piecing together the modus operandi of drug and sex trafficking in Hong Kong. The victims are often hidden from the public eye. Many of these men, women, and children are recycled through different uses as they are renewable resources for as long as they can serve the perpetrator's purpose. But the value of a person is inherent in their personhood, in the power of their dreams, their determination, their goodness, and in their talents. We must restore their human rights and dignity, because they could be any of us.